All right, guys, I can't believe I got almost 1,800 videos and never got around to one of these little 103s from Tricircle. I've traveled almost every country in Africa, and I've seen these in every single country, except not this little bitty 103. I've seen as the numbers get smaller, the locks get larger. So the 102 is about probably double this size. The 101 is, again, double that size. And I've seen a 100, which is honking huge. But doesn't matter. These are always a little bit tricky to pick, and they got some secret sauce in there. Here is the key that Rick from the UK sent to me when he reminded me that he'd never seen me do one of these. Now, I will tell you this key, it's a little bit sticky. There we go. A little bit sticky. It does work, but sometimes you got to jiggle it just a little bit, which is pretty common in these locks. Again, it's all part of that secret sauce. Down inside of there, that's just a drilled hole. There's no cutout on the shackle. There's probably a cutout on this side, but because of the way this works, we'll try it. But because of the way this works, I've never been able to bypass these. So let's try that. Let's just get a knife. See if we can go in and see if we can bypass that. And no, the answer is no. We'd have to turn it. I've got a feeling it's a mechanical. It's not a spring-loaded thing. We might be able to shim it if it is spring-loaded. Let's get that out of here. Let's find a small. That's probably a small. If we can shim it. It's pretty tight. And I think maybe the answer to that's going to be no. It's pretty tight. They do a pretty good job. So I think they're fully aware of the shimming process. Let's try the other shimming. Some of these Chinese locks works if you can shim the core. Pretty tight, but I got it in there, and yep, it's also shielded, so we can't get in that way. So they forced us to pick this, and now we kind of get into that secret sauce stuff I was talking about. I'm going to hold this in my hand, so it's going to be awkward to use top of the keyway. Let me try this guy. Use bottom of the keyway. It's a little big. Try this guy. Okay, so he's kind of out of the way, and I got a feeling I can hold him about like that. There's plenty of room in this keyway, so let's get something with a lot of rise. Let's try this little guy that they do for us. This is the PN09 from Multipick. All right, all the way in, and now we get to that secret sauce part. So keep when you pick these, and this goes for all of these tricircles, keep very, very light tension because these are not made with a whole lot of precision, and they're always full of grit, like this one is. Come on. I'm getting very slight counter rotation there on pin 4. Got a little click. That's pin 3, counter rotation. I'm surprised I'm getting counter rotations because the secret sauce on these is lack of precision in manufacture and also security pins that sometimes look like they're, well, just drops of molten metal that kind of resemble a security pin. I'm looking for counter rotation. I've got a little bit of a fault set. That was pin 3. There's pin 4 again, giving me counter rotation. Pin 5, counter rotation. Come on, get on there. Pin 3's pop back down. I think we got all kind of spools in this thing. Where are you? I know you got to be here somewhere. There you are, pin 1, counter rotation. Nice click. Pin 3's falling back down. And wow, really deep fault set. Pin 5 is back down. I'm getting counter rotation. Maybe they've improved the quality. These all seem to all be binding roughly the same time and falling down about the same time. There's 5 again. Come on, get on there. Pin 4. Pin 5s come back down. I probably should use a little more tension just to bind these guys up. Come on. My hand's cramping. There we go. We got to open finally. Wow. Okay, so like I said, they're not precision manufactured, but they're sometimes difficult to pick, as you just saw. And that's because these pins and the precision in the manufacturer is not so good. So I am going to sacrifice this. These are not collector's items or anything like that. But I want to show you. So this is the Bible. So the pins are obviously up here. I'm going to get a file, clamp this up, and I'm just going to file the top of this off. And let's take those pins out and take a look and see what kind of nastiness Tri-Circle has put in this little 103 to make it so difficult to pick. We might find some dead birds in there. You never really know. All right, guys, there it is in all of its glory. And I've got to say there are some very pleasant surprises and upgrades to the Tri-Circle model of this lock. As I said, I've never seen the 103, but I just assumed it was going to be the same as the others. First of all, here we go. There are, as I said, a total of 5 pins. But unlike those old blobs of metal that were kind of shaped like, rounded off spools, these are all very nice, kind of half spools. So they're all shaped identically, and they really look pretty good. Got nice sharp edges, and they're well formed. So give a little bit of credit where credit is due. 5 spools in the upper chamber, and then 5 standard pins downstairs. When I filed the bottom of this off, not only did I just destroy a lot of the springs, but right away I thought, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. This is a 6-pin lock. No wonder it's so hard. But when I took it apart, that wasn't quite the case. There are a total of 7 holes. Out of this last 6th hole came a pin. There was a spring that was identical to the others, and he slides in there. Now, let's take a look at what these extra holes might be for. When I look at the core has a very simple design, and there are no other parts. There's nothing missing. Everything for the lock is here. All the actuator parts are built into this core. So we've got 2 cutouts in the core, and this pin in the 6th position slides into this groove, and that is what they put in afterwards to keep the core from falling out, and also to limit the amount of rotation to that small turn that you saw when I turned the key. Now there's one additional one there as well, and we're going to take a look at him in just a minute. When I look at these holes on the bottom, all of these, the first 6, are all 90 degrees to the body, just straight through, just like we would expect, all the way through. Even that last one pops straight through to hold that core in, and that was where that pin came out of. This last one's a little bit different. He not only is a little bit oversized, he's a little bit offset, and he's up at kind of a weird angle. I think if you look in there, you can see the tip of that probe coming through in the body. And what that is for is this spring, and this spring alone went into that last hole at that weird angle. He goes up through the body, and he pushes against the core right there to keep spring tension on the core. So no special parts, just a drilled hole and a plug, and that's what holds this thing in place and keeps pressure. Now what you see here is the actuator. That is all there is to the actuator. Nothing else inside of the body. So how does that work? Well, let's put that key back in there, and I'll show you real quick. And this, again, was kind of a surprise. Somebody's been working at the design board. So this is how it would slide in. And, again, it's going to be difficult to see, but it's perfectly aligned in there. Then we only had to turn it about that much in order to get that shackle to pop out. So let's pull it out and see how that might work. So straight up and down. Let's get that shackle over here. Notice on the shackle there's a cutout. So when he's in place, that is blocking in that cutout. But when we turn that key just a little bit, that steel bar clears, allows the shackle to pop up, but then that steel bar prevents the shackle from ejecting from the body. And the spring, of course, is right there. That's what holds, that's what pushes the shackle up against that little steel bar. And so it's a limiter and an actuator all built into one. Got a couple of lightning cuts there. Nothing spectacular about it. You know, I got to say, they've really upped the game. So, Rick, if you had trouble picking this, as you said you did, you found it interesting. Well, that's why. They've got some interesting changes to the latest version of this 103 from Tri-Circle. Anyway, guys, there you go. I appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Rick, thank you, sir, for the lock. Had a lot of fun figuring this one out. Thanks, guys.